Hi, T.O.T. Carlson, and Spider-Man is at it again. We just got the 4K home video release of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, this being the sequel to 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. I've got here the Best Buy exclusive 4K Blu-ray Steelbook combo pack. There's the front cover, got a lot of the various spiders from the alternate universe. Here's the top of the backing card. There's our spine. On this side, we've got the backing card with all of our pertinent info, critic quotes, special features. Under here, you got another nice shot of the Miles Morales Spider-Man. That looks very nice. Inside the case, we have a digital copy of the film. Then over here, we have our 4K copy of the film. And our Blu-ray copy of the film. Underneath there, you got another shot of the Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I'll read the description of the film as follows from the backing card. Miles Morales returns for the next chapter of the Oscar-winning Spider-Verse saga, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. After reuniting with Gwen Stacy, Brooklyn's full-time, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is catapulted across the multiverse, where he encounters a team of spider-people charged with protecting its very existence. But when heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles finds himself pitted against the other spiders and must redefine what it means to be a hero so he can save the people he loves most. Into the Spider-Verse from a few years ago was actually a pretty pleasant surprise. Some of Sony's live-action takes on the Spider-Man universe from the previous few years have not been the best. I mean, you look at stuff like Venom and Morbius, and obviously that stuff did not get the best reviews, but this animated take on Spider-Man was something totally different, and perhaps more importantly, totally enjoyable. I was really looking forward to a sequel. Unfortunately, the COVID pandemic really pushed that back, so it's not until 5 years later we finally get the sequel. I am happy to announce that, for the most part, this sequel to Into the Spider-Verse is certainly worth the wait. Miles Morales, of course, returns, and he's a very interesting hero, certainly an interesting twist on the traditional Spider-Man formula. And here you start to see that maybe things for him that happened weren't supposed to happen. And of course, you get a great supporting cast as well. This movie gives Gwen Stacy a much more substantial role, and the relationship between the two of them serves as one of the central focal points of the movies. This movie kind of goes overboard with fan service, but at the same time, it never does it at the expense of storytelling, depth, or drama, and that's certainly a good thing. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how many different spider people pop up in this movie. We've got Spider-Man 2099, we have a cowboy Spider-Man, we've got Spider-Man with Doc Ock tentacles. The list goes on, and I'm not going to spoil all of those here. And you start to see clashes regarding how multiversal conflict should be handled. I mean, should you go back and save the person you love, even if it means you could potentially risk every other person in your universe? These are some of the most commonly asked questions in science fiction, and it is nice to see a fresh new take on this. I'm not going to say it's the most original premise ever, but they do put a good new spin on it. The casting and the voice work is absolutely fantastic. The animation style really speaks for itself. It really does look like a comic book jumped off the screen, and you have all these different animation styles for the different universes. I mean, you've got more standard-looking comic book page universes. You've even got like a Lego universe, and there's just a little bit of everything in between there. And hopping back and forth between these multiverses, it's a lot of fun, and it makes for some unexpected twists, turns, and surprises. Even the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's been such a powerhouse for the last few years, has really been on the decline lately, and this movie is much more fun, much more fresh, and dare I say it, much more dramatic and touching than any of those recent MCU films. So Sony's definitely got something good going here. Probably the only real weakness of the film is that this was originally marketed with the subtitle Part 1 before they changed the title of what the next installment is going to be, which will be called Beyond the Spider-Verse. And so this very much does feel like a Part 1, and it does have a cliffhanger ending, and it'll leave you wanting more, and it could be a while before we get the next installment on account of the current writer's strike that's going on. But let's hope it's sooner than later, because I really want to see where this story goes. This 4K release, of course, has Dolby Vision, and the animation really pops off the screen. It's a beautiful looking disc, and needless to say, Sony once again has outdone themselves here. From start to finish, it's a gorgeous looking movie. Like I said earlier, it looks like a comic book just jumped off the screen. And that's probably the greatest praise I can give, and I mean that with all sincerity and in all the best of ways. There are a ton of supplements in this package, several more than I was expecting, so it is nice to see that Sony didn't leave fans hanging here and gave them plenty more to look at. I've only scratched the surface of this stuff, but if you are a fan of the movie or Spider-Man and comic books in general, I think you're going to be busy for a while going through all these supplements. I can highly recommend this release to any fan of the film, of Spider-Man, of comic book films, of animation. Pretty much regardless of who you are, I think you're going to find something to like about Across the Spider-Verse. What do you think of these Spider-Verse films from Sony? Do you think the second one's even better than the first? Are you looking forward to part 3? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content, as I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.